If I told you London Bridge is in Arizona, you would think I was lying. But in 1968, the City of London literally sold their bridge to an American oil tycoon for $2.4 million. They took it apart brick by brick, numbered 10,000 granite blocks, shipped them through the Panama Canal, and rebuilt the entire thing in the middle of the Arizona desert. It is still standing there today, with World War II bullet holes visible in the stones. London sold their bridge to America, and honestly, that is not even the craziest thing about this city. Here are 10 facts about London that sound completely made up, but are absolutely true. Fact 10. London is technically a forest. When you think of London, you probably picture red buses, black cabs, and grey concrete everywhere. But here's something that will mess with your head. London is officially classified as a forest. According to the United Nations definition of an urban forest, any city with more than 20% tree coverage qualifies. London has over 8 million trees spread across parks, gardens, streets, and ancient woodlands. That gives it roughly 21% coverage. So technically, London isn't a concrete jungle. It's an actual jungle. But here's where it gets stranger. Everyone knows British people drive on the left. It's basically their whole thing. But there is exactly one street in the entire United Kingdom where you are legally required to drive on the right. It is Savoy Court, a tiny road off the Strand in central London. In 1902, Parliament actually passed a law specifically for this one street, making it the only place in Britain where right-hand driving is legal. Why? Because the Savoy Hotel is there, and most of their guests were American. They wanted to make it easier for rich tourists getting dropped off by chauffeurs. One street, one law, just for Americans. However, the next fact involves a test that would break most Americans. Fact 8. Black cab drivers take the hardest test in the world. You have seen those iconic black London cabs, but what most people do not realize is that the drivers have passed what is considered the hardest test on earth. It is called the knowledge. To become a licensed London cabbie, you have to memorize 25,000 streets, 320 routes, and over 20,000 landmarks, all within a 6-mile radius of Charing Cross Station. From memory, no GPS allowed. The average person takes 3 to 4 years to complete it. Some take longer. And here is the wild part. Brain scans of London cab drivers show their hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and navigation, is physically larger than normal. They have literally reshaped their brains to pass this test. But speaking of things underground. Fact 7. 55% of the London Underground is not underground. The London Underground is called the Underground. Makes sense. But more than half of it runs above ground. 55% of the entire tube network operates on surface-level tracks, including the Jubilee Line, the Metropolitan Line, and large portions of the District and Central lines, all running in the open air. The surface sections are more extensive than people expect. So really, it should be called the London Mostly Overground, but that name was already taken. And while we're talking about hidden transport systems. Fact 6. There is a secret railway just for mail. For 76 years, London had a completely separate underground railway that most people never knew existed. It was called Mail Rail, a 6.5-mile network of tiny driverless trains that ran 22 hours a day, shuttling letters between sorting offices. No passengers, just mail. The trains were so small that if you stood up inside, you would hit your head on the ceiling. They ran 70 feet below the streets, completely hidden from the public. When it shut down in 2003, most Londoners had no idea it even existed. Now it is a museum, and you can actually ride the original trains through the tunnels. But Mail Rail is not the only thing London has been hiding. Walk down Linster Gardens in Bayswater and you will see a row of beautiful Victorian townhouses. Identical white facades, black iron railings, perfect windows. Except two of them are completely fake. Numbers 23 and 24 are just facades. They are 5 feet thick and have nothing behind them except a massive hole in the ground. When they built the underground in the 1860s, the steam trains needed somewhere to vent their exhaust, so they built these fake houses to hide the ventilation. Gap. The windows are painted on. There are no rooms inside. Transport for London still maintains them today. Pizza delivery drivers reportedly get very confused. Now, you might think you know what London is, but technically. Fact 4. London isn't actually London. Here's something that confuses literally everyone, including most British people. The place you think of as London, that's Greater London. 8.8 million people, 607 square miles, everything from Heathrow to Greenwich. But there's also the City of London, capital C. It's a tiny 1 square mile patch in the middle. Population 9,000. It has its own mayor, its own police force, its own flag, and it operates essentially as a separate city. That little square mile contains most of Britain's major banks and financial institutions. It's technically the smallest city in England. 2 Londons, one inside the other, and most people have no idea. But one London invention changed literally everything about how humans experience time. Fact 3. London invented time itself. Before 1884, every city on Earth kept its own local time. Noon in Manchester was not noon in Bristol. Train schedules were chaos. International coordination was basically impossible. Then 25 nations met in Washington, D.C. for the International Meridian Conference. They voted on where the world's time would begin. 22 countries voted for Greenwich, London. 1 voted against. France abstained, because of course they did. And just like that, London became the prime meridian. The starting point for every time zone on the planet. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. The reason you know what time it is anywhere in the world, London invented that. But here is something London did not invent, but definitely has to protect. Fact 2. The Tower of London has mandatory ravens. There is an ancient legend that says if the ravens ever leave the Tower of London, the tower will crumble and the British monarchy will fall. So what does the British government do? They employ a full-time raven master, whose only job is taking care of exactly 7 ravens, 6 required by tradition and 1 spare. Their names are Jubilee, Harris, Grip, Rocky, Erin, Poppy, and Melina. Their wings are clipped so they cannot fly away. They are fed 170 grams of raw meat and blood-soaked biscuits every day. The British government is taking no chances with this superstition, which brings us to the wildest fact of all. Fact 1. They sold London Bridge to America. We're back where we started, because the London Bridge story is so absurd it needs the full breakdown. In 1967, the old London Bridge was sinking. It could not handle modern traffic, so the City of London put it up for auction. Robert McCulloch, an American oil tycoon, bought it for $2.46 million. They numbered every single granite block. They took the entire thing apart, piece by piece. They shipped 10,000 stones through the Panama Canal to California, then trucked them to the Arizona desert. McCulloch was building a planned community called Lake Havasu City. He wanted a tourist attraction, so he rebuilt London Bridge over a man-made channel in the middle of nowhere. It entered the Guinness Book of Records as the largest antique ever sold. The bridge still has bullet marks from World War II German bombing raids. London Bridge. Standing in Arizona, since 1971. London is 2,000 years old, and most people only know about Big Ben and the Queen's Guard. But underneath, secret. Railways, fake houses, forests, and a bridge that is not even there anymore. If you want to see more facts like these, that video is on screen now.